This episode is brought to you by freedadcourse.com. You are always one conversation away from changing your life, and the power of hello is something that I subscribe to every single day, and I'm always saying hello to new people everywhere I go. Increasing your opportunity, increasing your connection, and getting access to the solutions to the problems that you are facing, whether you're on active duty or just beginning your veteran transition or even transitioning out for 20 years. On the other side of hello are the solutions that you're looking for. Again, head on over to freedadcourse.com. Get your 5-episode audio course to create more connection, create more friendships, and get back to living the life that you're trying to design.
Dory 1, this is Fire Team Delta. Dad's coming home.
Welcome to the Military Veteran Dad Podcast, where it is our mission to bring every dad home. I am your host, Ben Killoy. I'm a United States Marine veteran, husband, and a father. We will bring authentic conversations to inspire action in your life so we can close the gap between the dad you are today and the dad you want to be tomorrow. This is the Military Veteran Dad Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Fatherhood Friday. Before we get started with this week's episode, I just want to give you a PSA that someone gave me about 2 years ago, that you only have 18 summers with your kids. Let me say that again. You only have 18 summers with your kids before they leave. So before you think that this summer is one where you can put something off till next year, maybe it's something you've been putting off for 2 or 3 years, just remember, 18 summers is all you get before they leave. And everyone has to count, and you've got to be intentional with that effort in summer. So with that PSA announcement, let's get started with this week's episode. This week's episode is inspired by some work that I was doing on a keynote that I'm preparing for. And it is a simple idea, but very profound impact as you look on it to reflect for yourself. What is your truth? And that sounds like a simple question, right? What is your truth? And in today's world, there is so much different view on what is the truth. But think about this. Before the Wright brothers took off in the airplane, a truth was mankind was not meant to fly. After that, the truth changed. Men can fly. And so there's these different things where like the truth is always evolving. That what was the truth today won't be the truth tomorrow or 10 days in the future or a year in the future. And I want you to look in your life right now and look and see, what is your truth? What do you feel is maybe fact? And maybe it's not fact, but for you, it is. What I mean by that is there are certain things that the way you have seen the world, there are certain things that you believe are fact. You believe that they are true. And in many cases, these are part of our personality. They are part of who we are. They are wired into our integrity systems even. But that truth is something you really need to be aware of and consciously. Now, it's not bad that you have your truth, and maybe it's different from other truths. It's perfectly fine. It's what makes America, America. But when you don't really acknowledge that your truth could be maybe biased based on your life experiences, if you don't really acknowledge that someone else's truth could easily be just as real and true as yours, you create this conflict between what you see the world as and what others see the world as. And if you don't really go into this idea of what the truth is, you're going to miss out on that, because other people can have truths that maybe invalidate something of yours, and maybe their truth is a little bit better and you want to incorporate it into your life. Wouldn't that be a crazy idea? And if you think of all the different things we have going on with race and COVID, and there's so many different views on mask and no mask and all these different things, they're all in many ways different versions of people's truths, the way that they have seen the world. And many times we don't really, one, acknowledge that there are many truths that we need to bring out, to listen to what someone else's truth is and just truly understand how they got to that point. What part of their life experiences really developed that sense of truth. And in order to really move your life forward, you need to be willing to rewrite your truth. I think for me, for an example, was my truth was I wasn't good at having friends. I wasn't good at being outspoken. And my truth was that it was going to be permanent, that was my personality. But at the same time, let's think about that. Like, all that was a truth that I didn't believe in myself to do something. It was based on my worldview or my life experiences, not my worldview, but my life experiences up to that point. And how do we move forward through that? How do we move forward through that? And is really finding other people that challenge the way that you see the world, whether it be a podcast. Podcasts are great examples of invalidating many of your truths and adding someone else's truth to yours. Many of the things that I bring to you guys is from podcasts, books, and conversations, and it's my evolved truth. But until you recognize that your truth is something you can change and evolve, you're going to have these like subconscious principles in your mind of things that you can't do and things that you can do. Like, be a good dad. Maybe you come from a long line of bad fathers and you're like, this is just my truth. This is how we are meant to be. Well, that's BS. That's a truth that you've just believed for so long, you don't believe there's another truth out there. Same thing, another great example is you might say, I've never seen $1 million, so it probably doesn't exist. Well, it does. And if you go into a different circle, people talk about $1 million all the time. In many cases, multiple $1 million. But it's only because your truth has never been exposed to something to actually see it. When you don't realize that these truths are holding you back, that there's certain parts of your fundamental belief system that require certain things to be true every day. And those truths help us get up in the morning sometimes. But if you don't recognize that these truths are holding you back, these truths are essentially going to help prevent you from moving your life forward, because you won't be able to add something new to it. You'll just stay in the same lane that you are today. So I want to keep this episode short. I hope this message helped. Just remember, try to add depth to your truth. Try to challenge what you consider to be true and continue to evolve. That's the primary message. Continue to evolve. What you believe is true today will not be true in 10 days because life always continues to change and you don't know. It's very important to understand that your truth is just that, your truth. And it's always able to be changed. And it's one of the best mechanisms to expand your world, to expand your life, and come home as a great dad. So guys, wrapping up, I'll talk to you guys again on Monday.